Hey guys, in this speed build I'm building a wedding venue. The game doesn't really offer a proper place for Sims to marry and hold a reception by default, so I thought I would build a lot that includes a chapel, a building for the reception, a outside reception area, and a lot that just has anything that you would need for a nice wedding. Here you see me building the chapel. I did not want to build a huge church or a cathedral. I wanted to be a small, cute chapel, kind of what you would expect in a small town. As you will see in a few seconds, I also included a cemetery. I thought that it would not only look cool because it kind of fits to any kind of chapel, but I also wanted to make the lot multi-purpose because I know that some people don't really like their Sims to have the urns or the tombstones at home and in the garden. Especially for tombstones, it's quite unrealistic who just puts a tombstone in the garden. And many people love to move the tombstones to a cemetery, and here you can do exactly this. It's a happy place, a chapel, a reception area, and all that kind of stuff. But you could also use the small graveyard for this purpose. I decorated the graveyard with the tombstones that came with the vampire pack, as you will see later. I thought because of seasons it's not always possible to have a party on the outside if you are playing with that pack, so I wanted to have a inside and outside party area. And this little building at the bottom that I'm building right now is a building just for bathrooms, because I thought when your Sims are having a party on the outside they don't have to walk all the way to the inside, but on the inside in the main reception building there's also a bathroom on the top floor, so your Sims can choose and there are enough bathrooms. Um, Here I'm using rocks to hide the edges of the foundation and the walls. The very first floor that sits right on top of the foundation is basically just a mountain. Once again, I want to work with different levels for landscaping. And the bottom area that is empty at the moment, that the stairs are leading to, is going to be the reception area on the outside. I always think that it looks nice and looks more natural in a way. I made sure, again, just like for my other builds, that no rocks are going to disappear when you're placing the lot, and that no rocks are blocking any paths, because when you're working with that many rocks it's always a little bit difficult. Sometimes they can be a little bit buggy, so you just have to make sure and check this. And I let my Sims walk through the lot many times through the end version, and it all works out fine. So you can actually play with this lot if you want. Here you see how I rotate them and make sure that they are partly inside the wall, so they don't look all the same. It looks more natural. And this little area that I used a roof for is going to be where the bride and groom are going to sit. I wanted to have them a little special place. They also are sitting on another table, as you will see. And this is just the way that leads from the front to the reception. I used the curved foundation because I think it looks pretty neat. And here I'm using a pool to create a little cute pond. This is really just the entrance area where Sims are entering the lot. There's also an option to enter the lot from the back. So I want to make it as convenient as possible so your Sims don't have to walk too far, or yeah, it's not that big really. The whole lot is not that big, which I thought would be good. I want it to be nice, neat and tidy, because when you're having parties in this game it can be extremely stressful in my opinions, when all your Sims are scattering all over the lot and then the wedding is starting and all your guests are God knows where. And I like this kind of buildings or venues to be small, big enough to have a big party with your Sims. I mean, it's not like super cramped or anything, but it's not extremely huge. It's not like a 64 by 64 lot. So yeah, it's easy to have a good overview. And here I'm using the light change that came with the Toddler pack. think it was the Toddler stuff pack. I did not want to make the whole lot too modern or anything. I want to look a little bit posh and beautiful, but still like something that you would expect out in the country. Not too modern, not too exclusive. As you can see, I used the big long table for the bride and the groom, and they are sitting underneath the glass roof, while all your other Sims have these small, neat, nice round tables. So you have 4 Sims per table, so there's enough space for all your guests. Here I'm continuing to using the rock to hide the edge of the foundation. I did not use rocks on the whole of the outside. The outside at the back is just a wall basically, and as you just saw, hopefully, yeah, you can see it here now, there is another staircase, and you can also leave the lot at the back. I used some flowers to make it cute and romantic. I think it's just perfect for the whole wedding theme to have enough flowers to make it just beautiful. This is the inside of the chapel. I could not really decide which floor I wanted to use. At first I went with this. I'm going to change this a few times, as you will see. I separated the area where the Sims are actually going to marry from the rest. And eventually decided on these floors. As you can see, the floor that I used in the back where your Sims are going to marry, it fits perfectly to the windows because there is purple on the windows and on the floor, and I really wanted this area to stand out. I used the benches made out of stone. I did not want to make it too cozy. I want to make it look like a small traditional chapel. Not too fancy, not too much decoration, just the candles at the walls. And this area is for the organ. It can be accessed by the outside, so if you want to, a Sim can play the organ just like in a traditional church or chapel. It was a little bit tricky to build the way from the outside, but I didn't want to have a diagonal staircase on the inside. This would have ruined the whole chapel, in my opinion. And this is the reception area. Here your Sims can have a nice party, and in the back, the room that is still empty at the moment is going to be the kitchen. I also decided to include a fridge and a stove, just anything you need, because sometimes, personally, I always forget to bake the cake at home, and when I'm there and I don't have a caterer, then it's just okay, no cake. And oh my god, I remember the last time my Sims married, I actually finally remembered to bake the cake at home. So I did, and it was my Sims inventory, and we just arrived at the location, and bam, my Sim just takes a piece of cake and eats it, and it's ruined. And again, I have no cake, and because I play with seasons, and because the birthdays are in the calendar, I really like to stick to it. I don't want to postpone it or anything, and I was like really bummed, and then I just let my Sims leave early and we had some cake at home. But yeah, so here it doesn't happen to you. Here you can just bake your own cake. Yeah, I choose to use the same tables as I use on the outside, so it all goes together nicely. And this is the top floor, and I wanted to build a room for the bride basically. So this is either the room where your bride can try on the wedding dress and all that kind of stuff, like the typical room for the bride, or you can also use this room for the honeymoon basically. Your Sims can stay there and can spend the night after the wedding in this room. It's a ensuite. There's a bathroom, but in the final version that you can download, you will also be able to exit it from the outside. So when your Sims are celebrating downstairs, they can simply go up and don't have to go to the outside. I still decided to have this bathroom just like you would have a typical bathroom for a master bedroom, so it fits nicely to the bedroom. This is just the hallway that I tried to decorate nice and neatly. I used a lot of pink to stay in the theme. This is the outside bathroom. They just look like a nice, very fancy, posh public bathroom, basically, with chandeliers and a place to sit and have a little chat when you are in front of the mirror and putting on some lipstick. I don't know. I just thought it would be nice to have a place to sit there. I used a lot of flowers on the outside. As I said, I want to use a lot of flowers to make it look flowery and romantic, so it goes well with the whole wedding theme. I changed a lot in the end. As you will see, I changed a lot about the chapel. And here I added some flowers at the top and some benches to make it look more like a community lot. The little fountain, just little details, and just change little bits and pieces. And this is the graveyard that I mentioned at the beginning. I'm just tweaking some things, the fence and some rocks on the outside. And I used some candles so it looks like a proper graveyard, and also some flowers. And as I said, you can simply replace these, so you can have your own Sims tombstones here on this lot. If you don't have the space for a separate graveyard inside your world, for example, you can simply use this, so you have a wedding venue and a graveyard all in once. Of course, your Sims could also have other parties, any kind of party on this lot. Yeah, here I'm using more rocks to hide the edge of the foundation. I really love to do landscaping. I think this is what can make a lot look very special and different, and I just love when everything comes together. And I'm just adding some flowers and rocks. And yeah, here I decided last minute that I would like to have a balcony on the outside. Yeah, and I couldn't really decide how to build the roof. I wanted to keep this building very special. First I thought about turning the roof around and making it different, but I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, so it does not basically overpower the chapel in appearance. The chapel isn't that huge or tall, but I wanted to be the centerpiece of the lot. So I did not make the other building any higher or any different, and yeah, I just left it like that. I think the outside area turned out really cool. I think it's the perfect place on a nice summer evening to just be outside and have a nice party or get together. I really like that. And I also added, as you probably already saw, but there is a small little pond in front of the cemetery. I wanted this area to be calm and beautiful, like a area of reflection and just like a little park, because this is like kind of the irony, but this is how it is in real life, that something so sad and something so wonderful are so close together. In a chapel, people are marrying and having the most wonderful day of their life, and other people are burying their beloved ones right next to the chapel, have held the funeral inside. And I think that it's quite fitting to have this all in once, basically. Yeah, here you saw me changing the appearance of the chapel. I added some flowers. I also decided to make the tower black and added these little birds. I don't remember which pack they belong to. Yeah, and just some decorations and small pieces to make it stand out more, because I think it looked a little bit boring. Also changing the roof here, the roof where your Sims are going to sit underneath, the bride in the room. Adding some more details to this building. I felt like it looked cool. On this little table is for the cake. I love when your Sims have a separate table for the cake and they can gather around and everyone has a piece of cake and nothing is blocked. Yeah, what I want to say, I thought it looked neat, but I felt like something was missing, so I just went crazy with some little details. Details are mostly what make anything really special in my opinion. It doesn't matter if it's a picture you draw, a lot you are building, or whatever, just all in the details, and I felt that it was lacking some details, and I was basically already done, but changed some stuff and tried to make it look perfect. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed the speed build, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And I also included some floor plans, as you can see now, and so you get the overview. And yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.